There are car collectors, and then there's Jay Leno, a man who once turned down offers worth millions, not because the cars weren't valuable, but because to him, they were priceless pieces of history. But here's the real kicker. Hidden inside his garage are machines so rare, some of them were never even supposed to exist. And today, we're counting down the 10 rarest cars in Jay Leno's insane collection. Trust me, by the time we get to number 1, you'll understand why this collection is considered untouchable. Number 10. 1913 Mercer Type 35 J Raceabout. Let's start with something that looks simple, almost too simple. But don't let that fool you. This isn't just any early automobile. This is a 1913 Mercer Raceabout, one of the most dominant performance cars of its time. Back when most cars struggled to hit 40 miles per hour, this thing was already pushing past 70. Under the hood, a massive 4.8-liter inline-4, raw, mechanical, and completely unforgiving. But here's where it gets interesting. This car wasn't built for comfort. No doors, no roof, not even basic protection. It was built for one thing: speed. The story goes, Jay tracked this car down after hearing whispers about a perfectly preserved example sitting untouched for decades. When he finally got it, it was like opening a time capsule. And what makes it truly special? It represents a time when driving wasn't about convenience, it was about courage. Number 9. 1966 Oldsmobile Toronado. Now this is where things start to get strange. Because this isn't just a luxury coupe. This is one of the first American front-wheel drive cars ever made. At a time when everyone else was sticking to tradition, Oldsmobile decided to flip the script. A massive 7.0-liter V8 sending power to the front wheels. Sounds insane, right? But here's the twist. This exact car in Jay Leno's collection is an early production model, one that engineers used to prove the concept could actually work. Talk about risky innovation. And what makes it legendary? It's not just rare. It's a reminder that sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from breaking the rules. Number 8. Chrysler Turbine Car, 1963. Now we're stepping into something that feels almost unreal. Because this isn't powered by gasoline in the traditional sense. This is a turbine-powered car. Yes, like a jet engine. Chrysler only built about 55 of these, and most of them were destroyed. But Jay Leno has one. Under the hood, a turbine engine that could run on almost anything: diesel, kerosene, even perfume. But here's where the story takes a turn. These cars were never meant to be sold. They were part of an experimental program, and once it ended, Chrysler ordered them destroyed. Somehow, this one survived, and that's what makes it special. It's not just rare, it's something that escaped extinction. Number 7. McLaren F1. Now we're entering supercar territory. But this isn't just any supercar. This is the McLaren F1, often called the greatest driver's car ever built. Only 106 were ever made. A naturally aspirated V12, over 600 horsepower, and a top speed that shocked the world in the 90s. But here's what makes Jay Leno's example different. It's not just about performance, it's about philosophy. The car was designed with one goal: perfection. No compromises, no shortcuts. Even the engine bay is lined with gold foil, not for luxury, but for heat reflection. And what makes it legendary? It's a car that doesn't just perform, it defines an era. Number 6. 1934 Duesenberg Walker Coupe. Now this is pure American royalty. A one-of-one masterpiece, built at a time when the world was struggling to survive. The year is 1934. The Great Depression is at its peak. People are losing jobs, homes, hope. And yet, somehow, out of that darkness, Duesenberg created something almost unbelievable. Not just a car, but a statement. A custom-built luxury coupe designed with such precision and elegance, it didn't just turn heads, it stopped time. Long sweeping fenders, a presence that commands attention, and craftsmanship so detailed it feels more like sculpture than machine. But here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't built for the public. This wasn't built for showrooms. This was commissioned by a man who wanted something no one else on earth could ever own. And Duesenberg delivered. Every inch of this car was tailored, every detail intentional, every curve designed to whisper one thing: exclusivity. And then, decades later, it finds its way into the hands of Jay Leno. Not by accident, but by recognition. Because Jay didn't just see a car, he saw history, he saw defiance, he saw artistry created in one of the hardest periods mankind has ever faced. And that's what makes it truly special. This isn't just rare, it's a reminder that even in the worst of times, humans still create greatness. Number 5. Jaguar XKSS. Now here's a story with a car so dramatic it almost sounds fictional, but it's not. This is the Jaguar XKSS, a machine born from racing, forced into the streets. Take a Le Mans winning race car, strip it down just enough to make it road legal, and what you get is something wild, something unpredictable, something alive. Only 16 were ever built, but not by design. Because here's where the story takes a turn. A fire broke out at the factory. Not a small fire, not something manageable, a devastating blaze that consumed everything in its path. 9 cars, gone, just like that, reduced to ashes before they ever had a chance to exist. Let that sink in. The XKSS you're looking at today exists because it escaped destruction. And under the hood, a race-bred engine, raw, aggressive, built for speed, not comfort. This isn't a car you drive casually. This is a car you respect. Now here's what makes Jay's example even more special. He doesn't just own it, he understands it. He understands what it survived, what it represents, what was lost. Because every time that engine starts, it's not just noise, it's an echo of something that almost disappeared forever. Number 4. Bugatti Type 57 Atlantic, a recreation with original DNA. Now this is where things get complicated. Because when you talk about the Bugatti Atlantic, you're not just talking about a car, you're talking about a legend. One of the rarest, most mysterious automobiles ever created, with only a handful in existence, each one worth tens of millions of dollars, locked away in private collections, almost untouchable. Now, Jay Leno doesn't own one of the originals, but what he has might actually be more fascinating, because this isn't just a replica, this is a resurrection. Built using original Bugatti components, original techniques, and an obsessive attention to detail that borders on madness. And here's where it gets interesting. Every rivet, every curve, every line was recreated the way it would have been decades ago. No shortcuts, no modern cheats, just pure craftsmanship. So when you look at it, you're not just seeing a recreation, you're seeing history brought back to life. And what makes it legendary, it allows something almost impossible, to experience a car that most people will never even see in their lifetime. Number 3. EcoJet. Now this is where everything changes. Because this isn't about the past, this is about vision. This is about pushing boundaries. And this is something you won't find anywhere else on Earth. The EcoJet. A car that wasn't discovered, wasn't auctioned, wasn't inherited, it was created. In collaboration with engineers, designers, and some of the brightest minds in the industry, Jay Leno helped bring this machine to life. Inspired by fighter jets, powered by a turbine engine, and capable of running on biodiesel. Let that sink in. A jet-powered turbine-powered car designed not just for speed, but for the future. But here's where the story takes a turn. This car was never meant for production. There are no copies, no duplicates, no second chances. This is it, a one-of-one machine built from imagination. And what makes it truly insane is it proves that Jay isn't just preserving history, he's actively shaping it. Number 2. 1906 Stanley Steamer Vanderbilt Cup Racer. Now we go back, way back, to a time when the future of automobiles wasn't decided yet. Gasoline wasn't king, electric cars were still in the conversation, and steam was powerful. This is the 1906 Stanley Steamer Vanderbilt Cup Racer, a machine that doesn't roar, it hisses. It builds pressure quietly, almost deceptively, and then suddenly it moves fast, faster than you'd expect from something over 100 years old. But here's what makes it truly special. Most of these machines didn't survive. They were abandoned, scrapped, forgotten as the world moved on. Steam lost the race, gasoline took over, and history erased them. But not this one. This one endured. Through time, through neglect, through changing eras, until it found its way into Jay Leno's collection. And what it represents is something deeper, a glimpse into a world that could have been, a future that almost happened but didn't. And now, the crown jewel. This isn't just rare, this isn't just beautiful, this is something else entirely. The 1939 Lagonda V12, a car born on the edge of history, designed with input from the legendary W.O. Bentley, a man who understood performance, elegance, and engineering like few others ever have. Under the hood, a V12 engine, smooth, effortless, powerful in a way that feels almost timeless. But here's the part most people don't realize. This car was built just before the world changed forever, before World War II, before everything stopped. It represents the final breath of an era defined by elegance, craftsmanship, and ambition. And when you look at it, you don't just see a car, you see a moment frozen in time. Jay Leno has called it one of the most beautiful cars ever made. And when you see it in motion, you understand why. Because this isn't just metal and engineering. This is emotion. This is history. This is legacy. This is a time machine. From steam-powered racers to jet-inspired supercars, Jay Leno's collection isn't just about wealth. It's about history, passion, and preservation. Because these aren't just machines, they're stories. And as Jay himself believes, the real tragedy isn't a car being expensive, it's a car being forgotten. So the next time you see a classic sitting quietly somewhere, just remember, it might be worth more than money. It might be a legend waiting to be told. If you enjoyed this journey into automotive history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around, because the next story might be even more unbelievable.